Hello, welcome back to my channel, everyone. Dana here. I am back with another Spellbinders release and review video. Now, the products that I have here were gifted to me from Spellbinders, and they will be linked down below in the description box with affiliate links. But I encourage you to check out the new arrival section, which will also be linked down below because there is more products that are being released that I don't have here. The first collection that I have here is the Say Cheese Classic Mouse collection. And this is Steamboat Willie from Disney, of course. And the first set here is the Steamboat Willie Duo. So you have Steamboat Willie, and I'm not sure her Steamboat Willie name, but Daisy. We'll call her Daisy because, yeah, I'm not sure of her name. But you can make both little characters, and they have different arms, so they can have different expressions. And then they have this little flower that you can make, and either one can be holding a little flower. Very, very fun die set. And also, on the Spellbinders website, they have these little printouts now that will tell you where all of the little pieces go. So handy. Love this. And then here is an example of all the different arm poses. So you can see here, there's 3 for each character depending on which way they're facing. And these can be found on the Spellbinders website. You can just print them out. Since I am part of the maker group for Spellbinders, we get just the samples, so they don't come in the actual packaging. So that's why all my stuff is printed out here. And then the next die we have an alphabet die. And you get the full alphabet, and this is called the Classic Mouse alphabet. And it's in the, classic Steamboat Willie font. And it also comes with a number set. This is the Classic Mouse numbers and punctuation. And then there's the Classic Mouse borders. These are awesome because you can still use the pieces that it cuts out too. So for the music notes and then the little anchor, you can use those pieces separately. And you get four of the borders with this. And then this set is really fun. This is the Frame and Sentiment set. And let me show you here. Again, there's little printouts on the website, but you can put your little character faces in the circles, or you can do some of the letters or the numbers. And then there's different sayings. So there's a well, hello there, golly, and swell, and oh boy. And these come so that the sentiment is just a little insert that you would put in the circle when you're die cutting it. And then last but not least, we have the flags and banners. I use this one probably the most in my samples that I'll show you. I love these little rosette pieces that they have here. So much fun. And there's 2 different styles, and they're each one is 2 separate dies. So you just cut out both, and then you can color them, coordinating colors, different colors, the same color if you wanted. And then you have all the dies to make this fun little banner set. And I do have a few samples to show you here. So this first card, I created both of the characters, and I stuck with the classic just black and white. And then here I took the alphabet set, cut out happy birthday a bunch of times, and that's what you can see in the background. And then I did use the circle and put the character face in it, and I put golly, so it'd be golly happy birthday. And then these little stars come from the banner set as well. Or not the banner set, what is this? The Frame and Sentiment set. So it's this one. So I just used the little stars here. And one of the stars you can layer. I just did it separately. So we've got a couple different sizes of stars there. And then here's what I'm talking about that little rosette. It doesn't have to be like Disney kid themed. You can turn the little rosette into, you know, a more elegant thank you card like I did here. And I just cut out a bunch of the little rosettes and then die cut a piece of cardstock and then glued them on there and just cut around the edge. And then I added the little thank you. And then here you can see I did those borders in the background and I just die cut everything out of white and then sprayed it with some distress spray stains and then put happy birthday and the little character. And her tail got a little wonky there, but that's okay. It's more expressive, I guess. And then here's another one for the rosette. Again, same thing, cut out a bunch of the little rosettes, glued them onto a die cut piece and then cut around the edges and then put happy birthday. My sister has asked me for more birthday cards, so you'll see a few birthday cards in this release. The next collection is the Modern Botanicals by Dina Wakley. There's also 2 Better Press sets that come in this collection that I don't have here, but I do have the 2 embossing folders. So this one is the Lined Corners embossing folder, and it's a 3D embossing folder. And then there's the Lined Circles, which is a standard embossing folder. And for these, since the embossing folder, which one was it? The Lined Corners was a really fun kind of geometric shape. I wanted to gel print with it, and I will have a video on how I did this on Thursday. So stay tuned for that. But this is just a gel printed background, and I gel printed with Play-Doh and the embossing folder on the background there. And then I just cut out a little floral piece and put thank you. And then I did the same thing for this one, but instead of using the gel printed piece as the background, I die cut little circles out of it. And then in the background here, you can see the Lined Circles embossing folder. And then I just die cut out a congrats and put that in the center. The next collection we have here is the La Vita Dolce collection. I'm probably going to mispronounce most of the names in this collection, so bear with me. So for the first die, we have this fun sun die set here. And this is, I'm not sure. I cut this one up too much so it could fit in my little envelope here. I didn't print out the name. But it's a sun. It's item number S5690. You'll be able to see that in the collection section. And you get all of the pieces to create this fun little sun character here. So you get the face, the 2 outline dies. And then the next one is this ship, and this is called Deckside Dreams. I have it pulled up over on my phone here. So you'll get everything to create the ship and then also the background waves in this die set. So these are the little wave pieces, and then the rest of it is the ship here. And then this is probably my favorite die out of this collection. This is quite a big die set. And this is called Beyond the Door. And you get everything to create this fun door frame and scene. And then you also get some florals to hang along the edge there, or you also have some citrus fruits, and then you have the little pots and then everything to create the stone path. And this, I have 2 die sets in here, so let me pull out my little papers. So the first one is the Amaphil Breeze. Like I said, I'm going to butcher these. But you get all the dies to cut out this lady and her little drink and then the blanket or towel she's laying on. And then there's also the La Dolce Vita banners. So you get the 3 banners, you get the 3 inserts, and then the die to cut around the edge. And you can see that here. Here's everything to cut out the lady, and then here's for the sentiments. And then the last one, I think this is so fun. So it's a face, and they have spaghetti, and the spaghetti says ciao. So much fun, and it's called Ciao Spaghetti. So the ciao you can cut out separately, so you don't have to have it make it, You don't have to have it so it looks like spaghetti. You can cut that out separately. And then you get all the little spaghetti pieces and then everything for the face. And then the samples here, I have this one. I just did the La Dolce Vita in the banner, and I cut out the steamboat. I wanted to do it black and white since my background here is so vibrant, and this is just gel printed. And then here we have the chow spaghetti. So again, gel printed background, and I just cut out the chow, made it look like spaghetti, and then the little face up here in the corner. And then here I did the door frame. So I did a mix of all of the little floral dies here. And then I cut out 2 of the pots, did some more florals in it. And the background, I wanted to kind of make it look more like a shape, like a geometric shape versus a scene. So I just die cut a couple of different pieces of some gel printed backgrounds that I had and then put thank you on it. And then here's an example of the sun. So you don't have to use the face. If you don't want to, you can just cut out a sun and then put one of the banners in front of it. And then again, this is just on a gel printed background. And then last but certainly not least, we have 2 of the felt cutting dies by Nichol Spohr. This is the felt sunflower bloom, and then we have the cheeky apple is what this one is. And they call, I'm assuming she called it cheeky apple because you can create this cute little apple with a face and arms. These I made some napkin rings out of, and I ended up actually giving them to my sister, so I don't have them, but I will have photos of them on my Instagram, so be sure and follow me over there. If you're not, it is linked down below in the description bar. I just did the classic cut apple versus the cheeky apple for that. And then there's also the sunflower. Now these dies can be used with paper. You don't have to use them with felt if you don't have any. And you also don't have to stitch them if you don't feel like stitching them. But they are created to die cut through felt. The stiff felt, you don't want to use like the thin, like cottony felt. You want to use the stiff felt for these. And Spellbinders does have their own felts that you can get also. So for the sunflower, you stitch around the edge here on the center and then the leaves. And then the apple is more stitched. So you stitch around the 2 little seeds, around the center, and then around the edge, and then also the leaf as well. And that is the Spellbinders release and review for June. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do consider liking and subscribing to the channel. I do try and do a release and review video every time I do get some new collections here, so you'll be able to see those hopefully monthly, if not every other month. Again, all these projects will be posted on my Instagram with detailed descriptions on products. Links for everything will be down in the description box. Again, they are affiliate links. If you choose to shop through those links, it does help support me, and I do greatly appreciate it. You don't have to get the projects or any of the products that are listed. If you just click on it and then do your normal shopping, that does help support me too. But as always, please take some time to pamper your inner goddess, and I will see you in the next one.